Hey everyone, it's Jennifer with Rooted in the Rock, and I've got something dropping from the education branch right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Rooted in the Rock. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to another edition of Cool Things We Found in Ms. Hinkle's Notebook. So, this is my binder, which I talked about in the last video when I was talking about the calendar. Okay, this is my super awesome butter binder from Staples that I love so much. And I am actually, even though we're homeschooling this year, I'm still using it here with the calendar and the planning and all of that. It just doesn't have nearly as much stuff in it as when I have multiple classes of kids. But, so that's actually kind of nice, really. But I wanted to share my planning sheets with you. Or, not planning sheets. My record sheets. So, for several years, I've actually made a bunch of these for some friends in all different kinds of colors, like I talked about before. And I have, I did the dividers and the divisions and all that. But two of the things that I custom made for my teacher planner was the calendar pages, and I made planning pages, but I started using the calendar for the planning too. But the other thing that I also made custom were record sheets. Most teachers know when you at the beginning of the year you go to the store, the teacher store, or you order online a record book or record sheets. Some people, a lot of schools do them online now, but I still like keeping paper ones just to have a backup copy and just so that it can travel with me back and forth. I don't have to worry about if there's power, internet, or anything like that. Anyway, I just like having that hard copy record and for my convenience. And I used it not just for grades, but I would use record pages for keeping track of who has what book number when you're working at a school and you're passing out, the books that return back to the school, literature books, textbooks, all that sort of thing. I would keep track of which student has which book number. I would use it to keep track sometimes of who had paid or turned their permission form in for field trips, all kinds of things. Who, different projects. I'm trying to think. I know there were other things I used it for. I used them for attendance too. Attendance, all kinds of things, not just grades. So the record keeping sheets are really handy, useful for all kinds of things. But, so the ones you buy at the store, they're pretty formulated. They're almost all the same, but the spaces to write in are so tiny because class sizes have gotten bigger and they have to have, so many spaces. And I just found that the space to write in was so tiny. And where I was working eventually at a hybrid school where we had smaller, the cap size for our classes was 12, which they do actually at a lot of schools, a lot of private schools. So I didn't, you have a record book and you have this entire page just lined all the way down, but half of it was wasted. So what I ended up doing was making my own. And so when I did these notebooks, of course, I like purple. Purple is one of my purple and green, my favorite colors, right? I love purple. And so I was like, I had already was working on making my own record sheet anyway, but I was like, I'm going to make it match my notebook. So I did, and I made myself one, and I've got two different ones, and I've got them uploaded online. You can purchase them whenever you want. I'll put the links up as I talk about them, or the address, and I'll put the link in the show notes because I'm not a YouTube 100% expert just yet. So I will put the link across the screen when it comes up in the conversation, and I'll also put the links in the show notes. Okay, so first is of course I want to show you the purple one. I have the whole stack of all the colors right here, but let me just grab out of the stack. So I made my own record sheet just like this. Now, I left myself blank up here so I could write whatever up here, so I could write whatever the subject is, or if it's for attendance or whatever I'm using that page for. I left myself a box, and there's a little extra room up here too. But each of these, so this is a regular 8.5 by 11, okay? This doodle bug right here this is where my holes are gonna get punched. So I just have my swirlies, because I like the swirlies, you know, I put some swirlies there, and that's where the holes end up getting punched, okay? And then I ended up with this full-size one. I have 30 slots down, 20 slots across. And each space, and I tried to make sure, you know, I've got plenty of space on here to write names down here and assignments up here, or whatever it may be. But like for me, this is just right. And then I wanted the color so it would match the notebook. So I did every other line with the color just to make it easier to find. Because you know when you're trying to find a grade on a particular kid, an assignment or something like that, and you're like doing the whole, you know, doing the whole find on the grid thing, you know. And sometimes it's really hard, especially if you have a record sheet with a lot of tiny spaces. But with this, having the lines, the color on every other line really helps me keep my eyeballs on which line they're supposed to be on. And so what I did is I just print these at home on my own. Whenever I need them, I can print more. And so I actually have two for each of these. So if you'll notice, the place where you punch the holes is on the other side. So when I put these in the binder, okay, I have them face to face with the opposite side holes, and that's how I go. So I love these. These were fantastic. I made them for myself, and then I had a bunch of friends that were like, that's so awesome, can you do me some? So I ended up doing a bunch of them in different colors to match the different people's notebooks, because of course not everybody is in love with purple like I am. So I had a friend who I've done a pink, green, I did several. So I had 4 or 5, no, 6, I don't know, I lost count. It wasn't quite 10, but anyway, I've done a bunch of different colors I already had done. And then I thought, well, you know, if I put this online for people, you know, I would want the whole rainbow pack. Because what if you want to use not just, okay, this matches my notebook, but you could also use it as different subjects have different colors. Or different classes, if you have multiple classes, maybe each class has its own particular color, and that helps you flip quickly through and know what's what. So I went through and I did all the colors. So I've got red. Of course, I'm trying to do this quickly, so I'm going to do the old lick your finger. So I've got red, orange. That's orange again. There's the yellow. Anyway, etc., etc. I have red, orange, yellow, green, 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of purple, pink, teal, because I had a friend who loves teal. She wanted a teal one. And 2 shades of gray. 2 shades of gray. Because I did a lighter one, and I thought, you know, someone might really want it to be darker than that. It depends on how your eyes are and what's pleasing to you. But anyway, it's a whole pack. So I've uploaded it online, and so for $5, I just priced it at $5. You can get the entire pack. It's a PDF. It's 24 pages, because there's 12 different. I said 12 different shades because I have 2 shades of blue and 2 shades of purple. So it's not really 12 different colors. It's technically 12 different shades, but whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it the color pack. It's the gradebook pages, and you don't have to pay $15, $15 every year to get you a new gradebook. You can pay $5 and print out your own grade sheets in whatever color you want. Yay! And you just print more as you need them. And you don't waste paper throwing half a grade book away at the end of the year sometimes, or buying another one because you need, 5 more pages. But you just print them off whenever you need them. And they're pretty and they're fun and they bring a little happiness into your life. So this is the full page. Now, like I said, I call it the split page, okay? So where I was at a hybrid school that had two, I'm going to show you the green this time. Where I was at a hybrid school where I had, a smaller class or multiple classes in the class, like last year, it was a hybrid school too, technically. But I had multiple classes where I was teaching different grades in different classes. So for two of the classes, I was able to use the split page, but I had to use the full-size page for the other one because they had more. But that class had more. But anyway, I also made the split page. So this one is very similar to the other. It's very close to it, okay? It's the same kind of format where you have the blank to tell you what the subject of the class or whatever. You have your squigglies here because that's where you punch your holes, okay? But this section, instead of being 30 spaces down, it's divided into two to maximize the page. So I've got two groups of 12 going down and still 20 across. It's the same number across, but we have 12 here instead. If you needed to squeeze another one down at the bottom here, you could. But anyway, this is the split, okay? And it is also uploaded online as a separate because someone might want to use both for different things. But you could use the split page for reading groups or small groups if you have small math groups or particular things like that to keep track of who has finished what task or finished what chapter or whatever. This is really great for that as well. But I used it for smaller class size. But again, like I said, you could use it for all different kinds of things. But I also have it online. Same price. It's all the same colors, same color pack. The only difference is you've got the split page here and the other one is the full size. The split page was super, super handy. I've used both of them for all kinds of things. So I hope that is helpful. If it is, yay. And I'm going to post this for my friends too, so that they don't have to rely on me to print it for them anymore. They can just print their own now. I'm giving you your little training wheels here. And, and so anyway, if that is helpful, that's awesome. You can go download that. The links are in the show notes if you'd rather just click. And, let me know if that's helpful for you. I can also do custom. If you contact me, I could also do you up a custom one if there's a particular color you want. Or if I have, some of my friends sometimes might say, well, I want this number of spaces or whatever. I could always do up one. But generally, these are the one size fits all. I've got the full page and the half page. But I love the colors. These are the red that I have on top. I tried to make it transparent enough, obviously, that you can write over it, through it, or whatever. I don't know how a pink pen would look on the red, but up to your judgment what colors you want to use for what. I love purple pens. Big shocker there, I know. So anyway, try doing, that's the thing, okay? These record books and around us, I don't know about where you are, but around us, the school store, we used to have a store called the School Box, and that was the teacher store, the school store. You could go and look at curriculum books, and they had the borders and the posters and all the teacher things, and they're gone now. They're not even here anymore. They closed, they done gone. Pandemic especially, just that one was just done. So I don't know. I'd have to look it up where the nearest teacher school store is now. I don't know. There might be one in Alpharetta. I'm not sure even for Georgia. I know there's maybe one or two left around, or there was last time I looked, but it's been a while. So if there's not a teacher store around you, you could purchase one that's already made. Of course, again, on Etsy, and Teacher Pay Teacher, places like that have other ones if you're looking for a different design or some, a simpler design or whatever. If you need more spaces, there's all kinds of them out there. Or like I did, you could just, if you are just a little bit tech savvy, pop on the computer and just, make your own. You could always make your own. That's how all of these forms and things that I've done for school and whatnot, it's all just been because there wasn't, I didn't want to pay necessarily, different times in your life. There are times in your life, a lot of times, when you just don't have the extra money for stuff. Or like right now, there's no school store, teacher store around anymore. And so I just made my own. Well, that was before I knew about Teacher Pay Teacher too. And so, you might just want to pop on your computer and make your own. I just want to encourage you to do that. Like, there's totally nothing wrong with that. And, it might take a while. You might print it and look at it and be like, sometimes this is my process, right? You print it and you look at it and you're like, oh, no, I think I want more space here. Sometimes you got to print it out a few times, check it, see if it's exactly what you want. And then, make your changes, print out another one. Okay, until you get it just right, the way you like it. That's what I do. Like with the colors, like a lot of times I do a color and on the screen, I'm like, oh, that looks good. You print it out and be like, oh, that's too dark, or oh, that's not dark enough. That kind of thing. The first red that I did was pretty great on the screen, but printed out, it looked kind of like a red-orange. It was too close to the orange. So that's how I ended up with this red, because it's definitely, when you hold it up next to the orange, it's a much better contrast. So, anyway, we've got that pack available, or find your own, or do your own. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, or if you have your own version that you want to share, or if you have, other things that you use. What other kinds of things do you use your record books for, your record pages for? Do you use a notebook, or do you get one of those spiral bound ones? So anyway, let me know. I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, please remember, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to catch the future stuffs, and have a great week. Welcome to another educational video. Educational video? Anytime now.